Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Ask Aaron for this week. I gave a message for our fall kickoff Sunday. It was about the home you've always had. The series is called This Is Home, talking about belonging and being a part of a community of faith and all sorts of great stuff. So if you missed it, you can watch it hillcityhudson.org/media. You can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, or the app, or you can teleport in time. Invent a time machine. Why not? If you do, let me know. I'd love to try it out. Little quantum leap action. Anyway, I'm going to answer these questions. These are my answers, not the church's. I hope they agree, and I would love for you to continue the conversation in the comments below. First question. Why do we need to feel fulfilled and to belong? Why do we need to feel fulfilled and to belong? I guess you don't need to. Most people want to. Most people want to feel that their life is fulfilling. Most people want to belong to something bigger and better than themselves. And I think that desire is placed in us by our Creator, right? I believe that God is a relational being. He exists in three persons, and they are in constant communication with one another. And God created us for community. God created us for relationship. And so that is a felt need or desire that we have. But do we need to do it? No. You'll just feel unfulfilled and like you don't belong. And those aren't positive feelings. Those are negative feelings. Those are things that people don't want to feel. And so the next question is kind of similar. The next question is, isn't feeling empty an okay feeling? If you like feeling empty, which nobody does, right? People want to have a purpose. People want to have something that they are driving towards and feeling called to, and something that fulfills them, and a dream that they're realizing. And, I understand the question, but nobody wants to feel that way, right? Everybody, because God created us on purpose and for a purpose, everybody wants to feel fulfilled. Everybody wants to belong. Everybody wants to have, something in their life that motivates them and drives them and keeps them going. And a lot of times we try to make those things temporary things, right? Like money or sex or power or fame or whatever. And those things all fall short because we are eternal beings. So there's nothing like sinful about feeling empty, except for the fact that it probably means that you're not tapped into who it is God created you to be and what it is God created you to do. So, you don't have to be fulfilled. You don't have to belong. You don't have to feel full, but everybody wants to. And if you say you don't, you're lying to yourself even. And if, you're trying to fill an eternal hole with a temporary thing, that's not going to work either. So, they're good questions. I understand the reason for asking them, but all of us desire to be fulfilled and to belong and to be accepted and to be in community. And even if you're an introvert, right? Like, you want people to know that you exist and that you matter and that you're capable and all of those things. So I think that's what I have to say about that. Do some people like church or actually look forward to it because of how it makes them feel? Yes. I really like church. I have always liked church. I have liked going to church. I have liked being at church. I have felt as though church is a good place for me to be, even when I am struggling. Now, does that mean that I've never been hurt in a church? And in a church, by that I mean like in a group of people, because right, a church is a building, but the church is people, right? A church building is a building that it might as well be, a movie theater or the courthouse or whatever. Do some people actually like going to church, like to the group of people, and do they like doing the things that church people do at, the location that they've chosen to be the church at? Yes, I look forward to it. I love it. Do people look forward to it because of how it makes them feel? Yeah. And in some ways, that's okay, right? Again, you want to belong, you want to feel fulfilled, you want to be in relationship and community. God created you with those desires and those needs, and so that's good. But church and worship on a Sunday morning is not all about how we feel, right? We go to worship and honor and glorify and recognize Jesus and what he did and who he is, and that's what Sunday morning worship is about. It's about learning about him. It's about submitting to him. It's about worshiping him through song and through prayer and through scripture and teaching and all that stuff. So it's not supposed to be just about how it makes us feel. But yeah, like if you're a person who believes that God speaks to us and that God cares about us and that God is in a relationship with us and all of this kind of stuff, then yeah, like absolutely, you look forward to being around other people who are going to lift you up and support you and as scripture says, stir up good works in one another, so that you can continue to live the life that God called you to and be a light in your community. So yeah, lots of people enjoy going to church and how it makes them feel. Does our society have a parallel to a child asking for their inheritance, like in the prodigal son parable? I mentioned that when the younger son asks his dad for the inheritance in the parable of the prodigal son, he's basically saying to his father, "You're dead to me. All I want is your money. I don't need a relationship with you. I don't need, to be at your house or loved by you or cared about you. You're dead to me. You're gone. Give me my money. Give me my stuff." Does our society have a parallel? I think that's the parallel, right? Like lots of families are broken because children don't see their parent as someone that they should honor and respect and look up to. And, I guess in some ways, right, lots of parents aren't the kind of people who should be honored and looked up to and respected. And so there are broken families and lots of, times people only care about their family for what it will benefit them. How can I gain from this relationship, whether it's monetarily or property or enjoyment or whatever the case may be, right? Like, how can I gain because of these people in my life who are my family, who I'm supposed to love and honor and cherish and respect, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna use them to get what it is that I want and what I need, right? So in any way that people use other people and don't treat them like human beings and the way God would want them to be treated, yes, there is a parallel to this son, the prodigal son parable, saying, "Dad, you're dead to me. Just give me my stuff. I don't care about you. I just want my money." How can I apply James 4:15 to my life while also having plans on the calendar? This is my last question for today. It says, let's go to the verses before. James 4:13. "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit, yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that." So I think that the crux of this question, and I'll finish reading it, it says this: "Typically I wait to hear what the Lord wills in prayer, but I act out of impatience before I hear anything." What I don't think this verse is saying is you don't have any choice in what it is that you're supposed to do with your life, and you're supposed to get up every morning and pray, should I go to work today? Should I get in my car and drive to the gas station? Should I do... I think it's pointing out omniscience of God, right? The omnipotence of God. God is all powerful. God is all knowing. God is the one who grants life and gives life, and God could take it away. And so it's referring to the power of God and the sovereignty of God, but it also doesn't mean that you can't choose. When it says, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. Well, God, you woke up this morning. God willed that you are still going to be alive. You still have breath. You still have life. So, you know what else God willed? That you would love him. God wishes and hopes and knows, because of his, existence outside of time, but God desires for you to love him, and God desires for you to follow his commandments, and God desires that you would obey and that you would walk in the way that he would have you walk. And that doesn't mean you have to do only A or you have to do only B. It means that as you live your life, you use the gifts and the talents that God has given you to honor him and to worship him, right? Live your whole life, that your whole life would be a living sacrifice. But it doesn't mean like, well, God willed that I get up and I get in my car and I drive to the Holiday gas station and I buy a candy bar. Like it's not about being that specific. It's that God could end your life. Now, what ends our lives is sin, right? God could, he doesn't. And so in this sense, it's saying, don't go around thinking that the only person's plans who matter are yours. God's plan for your life should be what matters most. If you want to truly honor God with your life, you should pray about what it is God would want you to do. You should ask God what job you should have, or how to follow him in this season of your life, et cetera, et cetera. But it doesn't mean you have to wake up every morning and take every step. Okay, if the Lord wills it, I'll take a step. Okay, if the Lord wills it, I'll take a step. No, it means live your life within the will of God. Well, what does the will of God mean? Well, God's told you, right? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Those are the two greatest commandments. If you are living your life in those ways, if you are using your gifts and your God-given talents and spiritual gifts to do those things at your job, in your family, in your marriage, at your church, if you are doing those things, you are living in the will of God. And if you wake up in the morning, God wills that you would have life, you have breath, you have today, use it. There you go. That's all we have for this week's Ask Aaron. Got another message coming up this Sunday. This is home week 2. We're going to talk about Joshua. It's going to be a good one. Anyway, hillcityhudson.org/media. You can watch on Facebook, YouTube, or the app. Any questions, as always, you can ask them. I'll post a video next Friday. Thanks, as always, for asking Aaron. We'll talk to you next time.